Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. In this episode I'm doing a Spirits People blind tasting. Right, so you probably know how much I love a blind whisky tasting. So Johnny at Spirits People has kindly set up this blind tasting for me. If you don't know who Spirits People are, check out a link in the description. I'll put all his details in there so you can check out his Instagram and YouTube. But Johnny is a good friend of mine, and I've done a single blind tasting sample swap with him before, but this time slightly different. He sent me two samples labelled A and B. I've no idea what they are, and he's given me a little envelope with what's inside. So I won't open that yet. It's sealed. I don't know what's in it, so I'll put that there. But I've got two samples, A and B. They both look very similar. Give you a quick look. Very similar in colour. Not sure what they are. I don't know if they're English, Scotch, Irish, American, Canadian, Japanese. No idea what they are. So what I'll do is I'll pour each of the samples out. I'll nose each of them, tell you what I pick up, give a guess of what I think they might be. I'll then taste them and see if that changes my judgment. I've got a piece of paper so I can make notes along the way, because I'll probably get a bit confused. And then I suppose I'll have a stab at maybe what they are. Don't say I've any chance of guessing what brand or what particular whisky they are, but I'll give it a stab if I can. And I'll try and give an idea of the sort of age of the liquid as well, and possibly the ABV. So onto the whisky. Right, so I've pulled the samples. This is A and this is B. For you at home, I'll put it on the screen so it makes it easier. Nothing given away at this stage. No idea. Can't even smell them from here. So let's go on with A. Let's see what I pick up on the nose. Right, instantly I get lots of strong oaky vanilla. So first guess is it's an American whiskey of some sort. Yeah, I get that sort of cherry note that I get from American whiskies and bourbons. I wouldn't say it's overly strong ABV. Definitely my first guess is probably 50 or lower, because it's not setting my nose alight. Yeah, it's not overly harsh on the nose. There's almost like warming baking spices. Getting hints of apple, sort of stewed apple. But that sort of cherry cola, sort of flat cola, I'm getting that quite a lot, along with that strong oaky vanilla. Yeah, I'm not picking up too much more on that one. Let's try sample B. Right, so this one is different. My first guess is American, but I'm sure I can pick up rye. That sort of rye cereal spiciness. It's not very strong, the spiciness, but the rye cereal sort of note is quite noticeable. Yeah, lots of sort of cereal. I get that sort of cherry, but it's quite muted compared to sample A. Yeah, that sort of cola cubes, flat Coke. It's there, but it's not strong. Along with the charred oak, that vanilla, again not as strong. The cereal and the sugars, like brown sugar, that's more noticeable. Again, on the nose, I'd say ABV is probably under 50 because it's not attacking my nose. So that's interesting. So definitely picked up differences between A and B. They both initially come across as American. This one more traditional bourbon on the nose, this one more traditional rye on the nose. Might change a bit once I try them. So just make a few notes. Right, let's try sample A. Okay, so my initial impression was wrong. I'm sure that's over 50% ABV. That's got a punch to it. I might well need to add some water to this one to really get the correct flavours from it. Okay, so initial reaction is high ABV. It's going to be over 50. The dry wood, oak is very strong. Sweetness, not so. I think the ABV sort of really punishes the sweetness and overwhelms the palate. So definitely not picking up much sweetness at this stage. That sort of cola cubes and cola's quite strong, but cherry didn't really pick much of that up on the palate this time. So might need a few more sips of this one as well with sample B, but I'm going to sip it again neat. And then I'll add some water and see how that goes. So, okay. So, taking a smaller sip, got more flavours. There's a maltiness to it. But there is also like a rye character with this one as well. It doesn't have that really noticeable rye finish. So maybe there's some rye in the mash bill from this whiskey, but not lots. But definitely picking up some rye and some possibly malted barley on the palate. There's definitely a cereal which you often don't get with heavy corn whiskies. So this one, yeah, not really sure. So let's have another sip. Okay, so I'm picking up more rye now, more sugars, It's sort of like brown sugars, you know, like muscovado type sugar. It's yeah, it's definitely more rye character to it, this one. So I'm not sure, but my guess at this stage is it's an American whiskey still. Could be a bourbon, because obviously bourbon only has to be 51% corn. So it could be high on rye in the rest of the mash bill, but it may well be a rye whiskey. It may well be more than 51% rye. So I'm not sure, but there's definitely a strong rye character, but not strong enough to be a high rye, I don't think, at all. So the finish on it is not incredibly long. The high ABV makes the alcohol present for longer in your mouth, but the actual flavours and that dissipate really quickly. Really makes you salivate with the high ABV. It's not overly oily, this. It could be a single cask or single barrel whiskey. I'm going to add a few drops of water and see how it opens up. Yeah, I'm getting like a sourness on the nose. Yeah, sort of sour cherries. Alright, let's have another sip. Yeah, there's more oiliness, more mouthfeel now I've added the water, but I don't think I could stab a guess at really what brand it is or anything like that. I really am struggling. Finish is longer though. Now I've added the water, getting like a peppery tingle and sits in the palate for a lot longer. But it's I'm really picking up on that rye. So it's either a rye whiskey or it's a bourbon with a decent amount of rye in it. But as brand, I'm not sure. ABV, I'd say it's 55 to 60. Yeah. I'm gonna have some water and then I'll move on to sample B. Right, with sample B, I picked up rye on the nose. Unlike sample A, I picked up rye on the palate. So let's try sample B on the palate. Okay, so sample B, I'm certain is a rye. There's lots of rye. It's quite oily as well. It's high ABV. I'd say that's a candidate for 55-60%. Yeah, that's a decent strength rye. I'm sure of it. So I'm going to add some water and try another sip. Just adding the water brings out a lot more alcohol vapour on the nose. It's quite noticeable. yeah, there's it's definitely rye. I guess it's an American rye because I'm getting those sort of really strong sort of oaky vanilla characters coming through as well from the cask. It's yeah, packs a punch, that one. It's, I would say that's more than 51% rye. That's a high rye. Yeah. Let me just make some notes, and I'll have add a little bit more water and have another sip. Yeah, there's more sweetness coming through. It's still probably too high ABV for me at this stage. You can feel the sort of pepperiness and that sort of spiciness that you get from a rye on the finish. Now I've added that water, that spiciness is still going. Yeah. So my guesses are they're both American, they're both high ABV. One's a bourbon and one's a rye. Should we open up the envelope and see what it says? I've no idea about the age. It's really difficult to tell with these, but I guess they're probably at least 6-7 years old. So let's open up the envelope and see what we get. Okay. Interesting. So A is Whistle Pig 10-year rye. It's Hedonism store pick at 60.4%. So I was right with the ABV. I was right in the fact I could pick up rye in that, but obviously I don't know what the mash bill is for the rye. What I'll do is if I can easily find out the mash bill, I'll put it on screen now so you can see that. And B is lot 40 cask strength, 11 years, and that's 58.5%. So again, I was right with the ABV, 55 to 60%. You know, I thought these were probably 6-7 years maybe. They're both around the 10-year mark. So yeah. Obviously, Lot 40 and Whistle Pig are both Canadian, not American, but clearly made in a similar style. I've had one Lot 40, just their standard rye, before, and I've never had a Whistle Pig. But they're both well-renowned whiskies on the world stage. So yeah, I'm really glad I got to try these, and thanks to Johnny at the Spirits People. Don't forget to check out his channels, links in the description. And well, I normally pick a favourite, don't I? For me, I think it's got to be the Lot 40. Yeah, B, Lot 40. I do like a rye, and The fact that this comes across as a rye on the nose and the palate is a really noticeable rye character. Means this is the one that's more for me. So thanks, Johnny. Slauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.